Hello friends, today I am going to make a very traditional South Indian dish. In Tamil we call it Sundai Kai. In English it is Solenum Torvum, I think, or turkey berry. Sundai Kai Vetta in this stone pot, Kalkachdi. Okay, so let's see how I do it. So the speciality of these soapstone vessels is that it's not a specialty, caution, a word of caution actually, is that you can't buy these new and start cooking with them. You have to train them over many weeks, months and years, and only then you can begin to cook with them. If you just buy this and just put it on high flame, the chances are very high that it will crack. So my grandmother had one like this, which her mother's mother, her grandmother or her great aunt gave to her. So these things last for hundreds of years and they cook evenly. The advantage of this is that you can never burn anything with this soapstone vessel. So by the way, I want to show you the beautiful scenery outside. Okay, so the things that are needed to make Sundaikai Pulikuழம்பு are obviously Sundaikai, Solenum, Torvum, and then some soaked fenugreek, some garlic. Of course, I am not going to use the coconut, I am just keeping it on top of the coconut, some mustard seeds, a little bit of asafoetida, a little bit of split Bengal gram, curry leaves, 4 chilies. I like to use green chilies because it's available. You can also use red chilies if you want, dried chilies if you want. 2 tomatoes, and this is tamarind soaked in water. This is tamarind water, and then I will use some sambar powder or Korambu Mulahapudi, rasam powder or something like that. Okay, so these are the things that are needed. Now you can see that the pot is sufficiently hot because now it is getting darker. I do not know whether you noticed. If you want, you can rewind and go back. There is a change in the color of the pot. That's because the oil it soaks in oil, and all that oil has become less viscous and is now oozing out due to capillary action, I think. So, and now the first step is to put some oil. See, still I am having it in low. Be generous with the oil. Okay, oil. I don't know about you. I don't worry about the oil because sugar is bad. Okay, too much fat is bad too. But hey, all I eat are mostly vegetables, so I'm a little bit generous with oil. So this is sesame oil or gingerly oil, and you have to allow it to come to heat. Come up to heat rather, sorry. You can see, can you see that? The oil is climbing on the walls of the pot. This is because of some minute pores in the stone. And since the pot is hot, the oil becomes less viscous and it pulls the oil up. So this is another sign that your pot is sufficiently hot, but not hot enough to start cooking. So now I can be a little bit more brave and increase the flame, but not too much. Okay, maybe that much. And I will still wait for the oil to come to heat. Oh, that's the wrong way to say it, man. I will wait for the oil to come up to heat, not come to heat. Usually female dogs come to heat and oil comes up to heat. So anyway, I'll wait. It's going to take a few minutes. So I don't know if you can see it, but now I can see some fumes. So I think the oil has come up to heat. Now let me try dropping in the mustard and see if it will crackle. Okay. The oil could have been, I could have waited a little longer. This is not good. It should start crackling immediately. So it means that I made error in judgment. But that's okay. I'll just wait for it to crackle. So now the mustard is crackling slowly. It should actually crackle really quickly, but it's okay. So I should have waited a little longer. So when you do this, you wait a little longer so that the oil comes up to heat, and then you drop in the mustard. I was in too much of a hurry to proceed with the video. So once the crackling subsides, it's almost subsided, you can put in the asafoetida and the garlic and the curry leaves. Right? And a little bit of this split Bengal gram. Just a little bit like that. Okay. And then the chilies. I'm basically operating here with one hand, so everything takes a little longer. I'm trying to take the stem out of the chili with one hand before I drop it in. Okay, so that's wonderful. In it goes. Yes. And now I am already ready to drop in the turkey berries. The reason is I don't want to burn the split gram or the asafoetida. So the idea is to cook it and not to burn it or char it. I'm just going to turn the chilies around a little bit so that okay, the gram is already starting to, the Bengal gram is already starting to turn brown, so I'm just going to add the turkey berries. Turn it around and add some salt. The purpose of the salt is to bring out the water content from the turkey berry and to cook the turkey berry. It is not to make it salty. Okay, so I'm going to make it smaller and close it up with another plate. Obviously this one is not well suited, maybe like this, suited like that. So it is kind of getting cooked, as you can see. Can you see that? I'm able to pop them now easily. So I'm going to add the tomatoes now. Oh, it's hot. Just close it up and let it cook some more. So now I'm going to talk about this tamarind paste. Soaked, it's not tamarind paste, it is tamarind soaked in water. So if you are not a South Indian, how to say this. Okay, if you are a South Indian, the chances are that this video is totally useless to you because you already know how to make sundakaya korambu. If you are a North Indian, I think you guys still use tamarind. If you are a foreigner, hey, just save yourself all this trouble because it's not so simple. You can't put this inside, and I can't explain to you how to make this extract. Just go to the grocery store and get tamarind extract instead of the tamarind fruit, and just use 2 spoonfuls of it or something like that. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't just put the tamarind as it is. All these things you cannot eat, and I'm just too lazy to explain to you how to make this. So important information: if you are a foreigner and you don't know how to use tamarind, just get tamarind paste. Don't buy the fruit. Okay, it's cooking well now. To this I'm going to add the soap fenugreek. In Tamil we call it vendayam. Okay, to this you can add, if you want, some turmeric powder. Okay, first and foremost, it is really sad that it has come to this. Hey, this is not the color of turmeric. This is some, I want to say some bad words. Turmeric is not supposed to look so bright. This, I'm sure it has some coloring agent. This looks like holy powder or rangoli powder. I'm sure it has some FDA approved bullshit that they say that, to make it look more yellow than turmeric. I wish I had the patience. It's not just this brand. All brands are equally bad, because once you have one idiot, then everybody has to compete, or it's a race to the bottom. So anyway, you can add a little bit of turmeric. Sorry for the rant, but this is strictly not turmeric. This is turmeric plus some toxic stuff that will probably kill you in the long run. And then I add the tamarind extract to this. And you see all that gunk? This is why I said that people who are inexperienced with tamarind should buy tamarind paste. You can't pour this inside. So it's just too complicated for me to explain. But yeah, this is the next step. I added a pinch of turmeric powder, and then I added the tamarind extract. I'm still cooking on low flame. Another thing I want to show you is, now I can turn it up to full heat, but it will not start boiling immediately. It will take 2-3 minutes. Of course, I shouldn't be doing this. It's not good for the vessel, but this has an enormous capacity to store heat. So even after you stop cooking, it will still cook for the next 15 minutes. So it doesn't get hot quickly, and it doesn't cool down quickly either. So just because you turn up doesn't mean that it will start boiling faster. Is this called specific heat? I think that's what it is called. The ability of 1 unit weight of something to store, 1 unit weight of the material to store so many calories of heat or something. I think this has a high specific heat. So if there are any physics or educated people, leave alone physics. This is supposed to be taught at class 8 or class 9, and I've forgotten it. So this has something, high specific heat is what I'm calling today. If I'm wrong, please mention in the comments. So now the whole thing is boiling. Yeah, I just looked it up. It is high specific heat. So the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a substance through 1 degree Celsius. I remember it from my school days. Obviously, my education is falling apart, so I forgot. Right? So this stone vessel has a very high specific heat. Right? The stone, rather, not the vessel. The stone itself has a very high specific heat. But anyway, it's now boiling. It's time to add the sambar powder. See? I turned it off and yet it keeps boiling. This is what I'm trying to say. You can't heat it up in a hurry and you can't cool it down in a hurry either. And it makes no difference if I keep it in high or low, but I'd like to keep it in low. So now I'm going to add the sambar powder. Now I'm going to add the sambar powder. How much sambar powder to add? I don't know. See, I've never measured anything with my cooking. I just go with my intuition. And some days it's really horrible. But most of the days it turns out to be okay. So just try it out 2 or 3 times and then you will know how much powder to add. See, I have read and seen on YouTube videos, especially from foreign countries, where they say add 11 grams of sugar, 2 grams of yeast. And that makes me laugh. Hey, just cooking should not be stressful, right? You should be able to just cook. I don't know, if it is too spicy when you eat, add some ghee. If it is less spicy, put some cracked pepper on it. And then you will know how to do it the next time, right? So this is almost over. This is going to boil for about another 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then I'll turn it off and then it will keep cooking for the next 30 minutes. And this is how you make Sundaikai Vattakozhambu in a Maakkal Chatti, which is Solanum torvum. I don't know what the English phrase for Vattakozhambu is, in a soapstone vessel.